Chapter 11. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Once upon a time. Wei Hong really treated Xie Cixi as his sister. Even if she just fell and scratched her skin, he would feel distressed. However, after experiencing betrayals in his previous life, his heart had long been as hard as iron. Even if the other party died in front of him, he would not frown again. Now Xie Cixi wanted to threaten him to stop by dying, which was simply ridiculous. TSK, the jewel in the palm of the hand that Mr. Xie of Jinjiang Group has worked hard to cultivate for more than 10 years turned out to be a fool. It's really ridiculous. If you want to die, do it quickly, so as not to be an eyesore in front of me, Wei Hong commented coldly, and his hands continued to move. He grabbed Wei Xing's head and smashed it on the desk again and again. You! How dare you! Xie Cixi's face was full of grievance and disbelief. Wei Hong was not like this before. As long as he did anything that hurt his body, he would be extremely anxious. He even agreed to all her unreasonable requests, but now, why doesn't he care? Stop it, if you don't stop, I will never talk to you in my life. Asshole, didn't you say you would never reject me? Xie Cixi was so angry that she stamped her feet anxiously, but Wei Hong still didn't bother to pay attention to her. Just when she was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do, the head teacher, Teacher Li, finally arrived panting. This is a middle-aged woman in her 40s. The farce of Class 2, Grade 3 has already attracted many teachers and students from surrounding classes to watch outside. She anxiously pushed the crowd away and walked into the classroom, and the next moment she made a sharp explosion. Wei Hong, are you crazy? Stop now. Oh, good morning, Teacher Li. Wei Hong smiled and let go of his hand, his face full of innocence and purity, but this appearance made Teacher Li very angry. She looked at the miserable state of Ji Peng and Wei Sheng and couldn't help screaming and cursing. You damned bastard, how dare you do such a cruel thing to your classmates? Call the police. I will call the police right away and send you to the juvenile detention center. After that, she took out her mobile phone and prepared to make a call. Ji Peng said coldly, you can't call the police. I have notified the elders at home to come and deal with it. Teacher, calm down. Yes, you can't call the police, you can't. Teacher Li finally came to her senses. If the police car drove into the campus and made a big fuss, affecting the reputation of the school, she would also be punished. Quick, send the people to the school clinic to treat the injuries. Teacher Li took a deep breath and quickly made arrangements. You, and you, hurry up. And you, Wei Hong, call your parents to me immediately. Call the parents to let the teacher show you how to kowtow, right? Wei Hong asked teasingly. Bursts of muffled laughter suddenly rang out in the classroom. If ordinary students commit crimes, their parents will naturally be called over and scolded by the teacher. At their age, they will be scolded like grandsons in front of the teacher. But people like Wei Hong commit crimes. When the parents come, the teacher can only smile and serve. Teacher Li was also very upset when he understood this, and turned around to call the school to inform the senior management. Today's incident is so serious, even if you can't be sent to the juvenile detention center, you have to get out of Xingrui High School. Before Ji Peng went to the infirmary, he said coldly, you will pay the price. Really? I'm waiting. Wei Hong disdainfully reminded, but your Ji family may not be enough, do you want to call more people? I have notified Uncle Wei and Aunt Wei, and my father will come too. Xie Cixi gritted her teeth and continued to pressure. You can continue to be stubborn, and see if they will deal with you when they come. Okay. Wei Hong was still calm and composed. He had a demeanor like a thug in a suit, which made many female classmates stare at him. Within 5 minutes, the big event in Class 2, Grade 3 spread throughout the campus. All the teachers and students in the school were surprised and gossiped. Who would have thought that Wei Hong, who was usually gentle and elegant and a school idol, would violently beat up his classmates in public? For a time, all kinds of videos and photos were flying all over the school network. Teachers and students ate as much as they could, and speculated whether Wei Hong was crazy. Some even believed that he was going to be in big trouble this time. A betting post soon appeared on the school network, betting on whether Wei Hong would be expelled or detained. Students voted enthusiastically, and everyone had already determined that he would pay a heavy price for his impulse. At noon. Ji Peng's uncle Ji Mingxian, Xia Cici's father Xia Zhijiang, Wei's wife Du Sihui and others hurried over. As soon as they arrived outside the principal's office, they saw 4 strong bodyguards guarding the door. When he walked into the office, he was so angry that his blood pressure almost soared. Ji Peng and Wei Xing had their heads and hands wrapped that he looked like a mummy, bleeding under the gauze, and looked particularly scary. Even Xia Cici had some bandages wrapped around her neck. Principal Lu and a group of school executives were standing awkwardly by the side. Wei Hong, however, sat down at the main seat of the tea table with 2 bodyguards standing behind him. He was brewing tea by himself with the air of a hero. Cici, are you okay? Xiaopeng, what's going on? The 3 of them rushed forward anxiously to check the situation. Du Sihui was so anxious that she almost cried. Xiaosheng, are you okay? Oh my God, how did you get beaten like this? Who did it? But when she turned around and saw Wei Hong, she immediately realized that her question was a bit redundant. Besides him, who else would dare to harm Wei Xing? Little beast, dare to touch my son, I will kill you. Du Sihui grabbed the thermos cup on the desk angrily and wanted to smash it. Wei Hong raised his eyes indifferently. His eyes were as cold as a knife, and he froze her movements instantly. Madam Wei, think it over before you smash it. He took a sip of tea carelessly, and then he reminded her, I always like to fight back. Yesterday, even Director Wei was beaten and disfigured. You don't think you're special, do you? Little bastard, I'm your mother. Du Sihui said with trembling fingers, you want to hit me too? Just biological mother, we will cut off our relationship after we become adults. Wei Hong raised his eyebrows and retorted, Madam Wei, have you forgotten that the person next to you is your son? You. Du Sihui almost fainted from anger, but she didn't dare to smash the thermos cup after all, because Wei Hong really dared to do it. He didn't even give face to Wei Jiaoyang, his father, and it was not impossible for him to turn against her and break her hand. Please go home and talk about your family affairs. Ji Mingxian sat down with a dignified face and said coldly, now I just want to know what happened. Why is my nephew Ji Peng injured like this? Who can give me an explanation? While speaking, he angrily slammed the table and roared. He looked directly at Wei Hong with a deterrent look. Obviously, he has already determined that this matter is probably related to him. Xiaohong, you and Cici are childhood sweethearts. You won't be crazy enough to hurt her, right? Xia Zhijiang also said with an angry face, your uncle Xia also has this one daughter. Under the coercion of the 3 parties, the pressure on the school's top management increased dramatically. Principal Lu and others were all sweating, fearing that this fire would burn themselves. Chapter 12. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mr. G, Mr. Xie, Mrs. Wei. The whole incident was recorded by the classroom surveillance. The injured are in stable condition now, and Ji Peng disagrees to call the police. Why don't we watch the surveillance first and then decide what to do? Principal Lu was sweating and cautiously suggested. Ji Mingxian and Xia Zhijiang didn't say much after hearing this, so they could only nod and agree. Principal Lu quickly turned on the projector and projected the video that had been prepared long ago onto the wall, so that everyone could clearly see what happened in Class 2, Grade 3 in the morning. This matter involved Ji, Xia, and Wei. He, a small principal, didn't dare to intervene at will. Therefore, there was no editing in the video, and it was recorded clearly from beginning to end. From the moment Wei Hong walked into the classroom, the students' hostile provocations, to Wei Xing's deliberate provocation of Ji Peng, everything was presented to everyone. Ji Mingxian and Xia Zhijiang are not fools. After watching this video, they immediately showed embarrassment on their faces. One couldn't believe that his nephew was so stupid that he didn't even know he was being used as a gun, and the other couldn't believe that his daughter was even more stupid, holding a knife against her neck. They were all old foxes who had become smart. It was obvious at a glance that the adopted son of the Wei family was deliberately making trouble. However, Du Sihui was still as blind as usual. After watching the video, she not only didn't think that Wei Xing was wrong, but also felt particularly sorry for him being beaten like this. She was so angry that her whole body was trembling, and her eyes looking at Wei Hong were also filled with a trace of resentment. Why did I give birth to such a beast like you? You even beat your own brothers. You are simply a scum. Principal, I demand that this garbage be expelled immediately. Du Sihui spoke with resentment word by word. Everyone couldn't help but take a breath. It has long been heard that the Wei family is weird, loving adopted sons instead of biological sons, but only after witnessing it with my own eyes did I know how exaggerated the Wei family was. Du Sihui cursed her own son without hesitation in public, just to vent her anger on her adopted son. This is probably a stupid thing that only a fool can do, right? Mrs. Wei, the biological mother, has proposed that people drop out of school, so I won't say anything more. Ji Mingxian sneered and said, although my nephew Ji Ping took the initiative to provoke, it was a little wrong, but he suffered so many injuries, and his face would not be good. As long as Wei Hong drops out of school, we can forget about it. That's right. Xie Zhijiang also nodded and agreed. Several children have made such a big scene, someone must pay a price, otherwise they will not remember. Point 3 parties expressed their opinions and put pressure. Principal Lu breathed a sigh of relief and immediately prepared to express his opinions, but Wei Hong raised his hand to interrupt him, smiling and saying, since the three of you have expressed your opinions, I, the junior, dare to say a few words. Is it okay? What do you want to say, nephew? Xie Zhijiang frowned. You want to say you are shameless, can't you see? Wei Hong smashed the teacup to the ground, pointed at him and cursed, are you blind? Does the video have anything to do with your daughter from beginning to end? You come here to meddle in other people's business, and you put a knife on your own neck. If she really cuts her throat to death, who will be responsible? Your daughter is a moron, take her to the hospital to check her brain. Is it your turn to complain here? You still want me to pay the price? You ungrateful dog, if it weren't for my grandfather's support, you would be a stinky bastard who carried heavy bags on the construction site. Have you forgotten your own weight after being Mr. Xie for a few years? Xie lame. In front of everyone. Xie Zhijiang's face flushed red, he was so angry that his chest rose and fell, and his hands curled up behind his back and clenched tightly. He almost couldn't help but explode several times, but he forced himself to hold it back in the end. That's right. Xie Zhijiang said coldly, if I hadn't had the support of Mr. Wei, I wouldn't have achieved much in my life. I won't forget this favor. But isn't it a bit too much for my nephew to abuse his elders in public? Too much. You don't think that no one knows about the past now that the old man is dead? Wei Hong continued to curse, all this black material is in my hands now. I have done my best by not sending you to prison. How dare you mess with me? Xie Zhijiang couldn't help sweating when he heard this. Dad, say something. Xie Sisi accused dissatisfiedly, what do you mean, Wei? Show some respect to my dad, otherwise I will make you pay the price. Sisi, shut up. Xie Zhijiang scolded coldly, picked up a cup of tea and drank it all before saying, my dear nephew, you are right to scold me. Today, I, Xie, don't know the rules. I am here to apologize to you with tea instead of wine. Today's matter, our Jinjiang group will not interfere. Why? Xie Sisi stomped her feet dissatisfiedly, he doesn't have to pay a price for a small victory. Why do you still apologize to him? Let him drop out of school. Shut up, Xie Zhijiang turned around suddenly, his eyes were as ferocious as a wolf. Xie Sisi was frightened and her face turned pale. Xie Zhijiang sighed and smiled bitterly, sorry, my daughter is indeed a little mentally retarded, I apologize to you on her behalf. You don't have to apologize. Wei Hong rubbed his eyebrows and said impatiently, for the sake of the relationship between the two families in the past, I can let this matter go. If it happens again, you know the consequences. Thank you, nephew. Xie Zhijiang is a smart man. He was able to bend and stretch even when being scolded by others. Of course, it was not because he was moral, but because he knew that Wei Hong was definitely not an ordinary high school student. He could even vaguely see the spirit of the old man Wei who dominated the business world in the past. Xie Zhijiang knew that he dared to make trouble again. Wei Hong must have a backup plan to make Jinjiang Group pay the price. As a businessman, he would never offend an enemy for a child's fight. Old man Wei is dead, but those who have received his favor in the past are still alive. For a while, the atmosphere in the office was a bit strange. Everyone present was naturally full of disbelief. They didn't understand why Wei Hong dared to point at a listed group chairman and scold him, nor did they understand why Xie Zhijiang had to swallow his anger. The development of this incident was really surprising. Are students now so crazy? If Director Xie doesn't get involved in this matter, our Ji family will not let it go. Ji Mingxian coldly picked up the teacup and warned with narrowed eyes, "What should I do if you hurt my nephew? It's your bad luck, it's your blindness, it's your Ji family members who are too stupid to rush to be used as guns. It's my kindness to help you educate your children and grandchildren." Wei Hong said word by word, toughly, "How is it? Is Uncle Ji satisfied with this reply?" Ji Mingxian was so angry that he almost had a heart attack. Others also took a breath again. Good guy, just scolded Mr. Xie of Jinjiang Group and now he is scolding the Ji family. This guy is really a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers. He dares to bite anyone he sees. And he scolded people by name and pointed at their noses. Is he really not afraid of offending the powerful Ji family? Ji Peng whispered, "Damn this lunatic. The Ji family has never been scolded like this, right? How many people have to flatter them? I heard that the second son of the Ji family is going to be promoted again. Even the Wei group has to be wary of them. How dare Wei Hong? He is just talking nonsense. This time he will be skinned alive. I didn't expect that Mr. Wei, who was so wise all his life, would teach a madman in the end." Everyone secretly complained in their hearts, and looked at Wei Hong with pity. Okay. Ji Mingxian laughed instead of getting angry. He clapped his hands and gritted his teeth and said, "Young Master Wei is so brave. Our Ji family thanks you for disciplining our nephew. We will definitely repay your kindness when we have time." Chapter 13. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Provoking the Ji family.it would be a very crazy thing for anyone to see. After all, they are a giant in the Jiangzhou political arena, with many family members in high positions, various relationships intertwined, and the ability to decide life and death in any industry. If the Ji family really goes crazy, even the Wei group will not be able to withstand the pressure. Du Sihui saw the tense situation, and her mind was clear for once. She shrugged and reminded, "Ji Lao San, if your family wants to deal with him, don't pick the wrong person. This little beast beat up Lao Wei at home yesterday. Now our Wei family has nothing to do with him." Ouch! Wei Hong raised his eyebrows and teased, "Just now you called me your real mother, is it okay now? You have to bear the consequences of your own actions." Du Sihui's face was full of disgust. "You beat Shaoxing like this, even if the Ji family doesn't pursue this matter, I will pursue it to the end." Okay. Ji Mingxian nodded readily and immediately stated, "Today, I will only cause trouble for Wei Hong, and will never involve the Wei group." The two parties hit it off. The target is aimed at him again. Everyone cast a playful or pitying look. Wei Xing was even more ecstatic, just waiting to make him pay the price. Wei Hong sneered and said with disdain, "Do you know why I dealt with Ji Peng but not Xie Sisi?" "Why?" Ji Mingxian frowned. "Because in my opinion, the Ji family is easier to deal with than the Jinjiang group." Wei Hong leaned forward and sneered oppressively, "I just like to pick on the weak, do you understand?" Hiss! Everyone took a breath of cold air again. Everyone looked at him as if they were looking at a fool. One is a behemoth with entangled political connections, and the other is a business tycoon. Isn't it obvious which one is more powerful? Even Xie Zhijiang himself occasionally has to bow and scrape to others for certain projects. Scholars, farmers, merchants and artisans. Scholars always suppress merchants by several heads. "My dear nephew." Xie Zhijiang smiled bitterly and said, "Don't flatter me too much. Our group can't compare to the prestige of the Ji family." Ha! Wei Hong fiddled with the teacup carelessly. Money and power have always been inseparable. Most of the time, people with power are indeed more awe-inspiring than rich people. After all, sometimes money can't necessarily buy power. But in my eyes, people with power are easier to deal with. To deal with a business group, you may have to spend money and resources to find the other party's flaws before you can suppress them. But to deal with people with power, you only need to find evidence of their violations. The Ji family seems to be cooking oil and fire in recent years, but in fact, there are a lot of dirty things inside. It is not difficult to find some flaws. If the Ji family shows a little fatigue, your opponents will immediately add insult to injury. In the final analysis, it's just that the power is not big enough. Success is power, and failure is power. The wealth in the hands of Jinjiang Group is at least earned legally. What about you? Do you dare to spend money legally? Wei Hong pressed step by step, speaking with certainty. There is no cowardice or ignorance that a high school student should have. All he has is the power to plan and win from a distance. His eyes are as sharp as a knife, making everyone dare not look directly at him. Ji Mingxian's face gradually became ugly, and he curled his lips and said sarcastically, "My Ji family abides by the law and has not done any illegal activities. Do you really think that any cat or dog can threaten us?" "Really?" Wei Hong laughed jokingly. "Are you sure that all your family members, from the nanny to the driver, are you sure they are all your own people? A bunch of people who only dare to show off their wealth secretly. Is it difficult to dig out your dirty laundry? How many eyes are staring at the Ji family? What do you want to say?" Ji Mingxian gritted his teeth. Wei Hong did not answer his question, but said something else. "Uncle Ji has been running around recently, trying to move up, right?" "Huh, what a pity. The province has already decided on this position, but you haven't even heard of it yet. TSK, 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 how pathetic." Crash! Ji Mingxian stood up in shock. His face was full of shock, disbelief, and panic. A drop of cold sweat had already slowly flowed down his forehead. It was the first time that Ji Ping saw his uncle lose his composure like this, and he couldn't help but exclaimed, "Uncle Ji, what's wrong with you?" "Shut up." Ji Mingxian's face was uncertain. After sitting down again and drinking a few sips of tea, he squinted and looked at Wei Hong. A high school student saying such words has almost zero credibility, but Wei Hong was too unfathomable. Not only did he easily overwhelm the school's top brass, but even Xie Zhijiang was 3 points shorter than him. As a tough guy personally trained by Mr. Wei, he should not be underestimated. Someone from the province will come in a few days. Wei Hong continued with a half-smile. "Guess when a new official takes office, will he kill a chicken to scare the monkey? Will he pick your Ji family?" "Nonsense." Ji Mingxian was stubborn and refused to show weakness, but his left hand could hardly hold the teacup, and the tea spilled all over the floor with a slight tremor. Everyone was shocked when they saw this. What did Wei Hong know? Why was Ji Mingxian so frightened by just a few simple words? It was just a fight between a few high school students. How could it be more frightening than a negotiation between big men? After Ji Mingxian sent a few messages on his mobile phone, a trace of nervousness, panic, and uneasiness flashed across his face. Finally, he forced a smile and said, "I'm sorry, nephew. Just treat today's matter as a child's play, don't take it to heart, uncle apologizes to you." Wei Hong raised his glass and chuckled, and Ji Mingxian was relieved silently. He turned around and slapped Ji Ping on the head, deliberately angrily scolding, "Why don't you apologize to your brother Wei? Idiot, you rush to be a knife when someone provokes you. How can the Ji family have a waist like you?" "Uncle San, me?" Ji Ping blushed with shame. "What do you mean by me?" Ji Mingxian said unhappily, "Apologize, you two brothers have been friends for more than 10 years, don't let this alienate you." "I'm sorry." Ji Ping gritted his teeth and bowed his head to apologize, but his eyes were full of dissatisfaction. Wei Hong was too lazy to care whether he was convinced or not. The good days of the Ji family were over. They would suffer from it next, and they would be busy without taking any action. He raised his eyebrows and looked at Ji Ping and the others, admiring their wonderful expressions. Finally, he met Wei Xing's resentful eyes as he wished, once upon a time. He only needed to play a pitiful role and frame him in his heart. Wei Hong would be spurned and scolded by his family and friends, and fall into endless guilt. In the midst of exhaustion and pain, but now he has been reborn, and every move he makes carries the majesty of a superior, and he can even laugh and talk, threaten and curse in front of big men like Xie Zhijiang and Ji Mingxian. How can such a terrible enemy not make people afraid? Woo woo woo, Big Brother is so scary. Wei Xing's inner voice really rang in Du Sihui's ears at the right time. Even the two uncles can't control him, and my mother certainly can't control Big Brother. How can I stay in school in the future? I really don't want to be beaten every day, it hurts. I will be beaten to death sooner or later. Chapter 14. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wei Xing was playing the victim and provoking. He easily aroused Du Sihui's pity and indignation again. She stared at Wei Hong with fierce eyes as always, and said coldly, okay, I didn't expect you to be such a sharp-tongued person. Even if Director Xie and the others don't care about this matter today, I will never let it go. You, a little beast, must drop out of school. If you stay in school, I don't know how you will harm your classmates. How can Xiaoxing, who is so simple and kind, bear your bullying and beating? Principal Lu, your Xingrui High School's century-old reputation cannot be tarnished by such a scum. Expel him immediately. That the school's senior management was instantly sweating. Wei Hong is not an ordinary high school student at all. He comes to school with 6 bodyguards. He can get away with pointing at Ji Mingxian and Xie Zhijiang and cursing. How dare they say they want to expel him? Mrs. Wei, you are a family. Principal Lu smiled apologetically, rubbing his hands and carefully suggesting, why don't you go home and discuss this matter? Whether it's dropping out or transferring, just discuss it. What to discuss? Du Sihui glared angrily. This is a major violation of school rules by beating classmates. You just need to follow the rules and don't have to consider anyone's face. This is inappropriate. Principal Lu still didn't dare to agree, and continued to smile and smooth things over. Why don't you think about it yourself? Don't talk nonsense. Du Sihui screamed in a tough manner, must expel immediately. Otherwise I will complain to your board of directors. Mrs. Wei, even if you complain, we can't expel students at will. Principal Lu hesitated and finally reminded kindly, but you are their guardian, you have the right to choose to transfer one of them, drop out, or take a leave of absence. This proposal made Du Sihui's eyes light up, the anger in her heart disappeared in an instant, and a determined sneer hung on the corner of her mouth. She turned around and made a decision, then transfer Wei Hong to another school. As a guardian, I decide to transfer him to number 13 middle school. Number 13 middle school, that everyone had different expressions. Du Sihui was really cruel. In order to punish her own son, she was willing to send him to a notorious middle school in the city that even the children of migrant workers were unwilling to go to. In an instant, everyone looked at Wei Hong with pity again. Weren't you quite arrogant just now? Aren't you still being suppressed by others now? No matter how powerful he is just an underage high school student. He has the status of a guardian, so it's not easy to deal with him. What a pity. If Grandpa Wei lives another 2 years, his grandson will have a promising future. Now he is being played to death by his own mother. What a pity, he met such parents, that everyone whispered. Wei Xing's mouth slowly curled up with a hint of sarcasm. He knew that he only needed to provoke a few times, Wei Hong would still suffer the most vicious backstab from his family. Let's see how he escapes the punishment this time, as long as the news that young Master Wei was exiled to number 13 middle school spreads. Not only can this bad breath be vented today, but Wei Hong's face and reputation will be trampled into the quagmire. In the future, when the upper circles of the entire Jiangzhou city talk about him, they will contemptuously link him with number 13 middle school. Mom, you can't do this. Wei Xing got the upper hand and still acted cute, crying and begging. Big brother has good grades, how can you let him go to a place like number 13 middle school? Isn't this ruining him? I beg you, don't do this. Xiaoxing, you are too kind. Du Sihui's face was distressed. Don't worry about it, I must make the decision for you today. Our Wei family doesn't need such an undisciplined little beast. Mom, no. Wei Xing continued to act. Woo woo woo, I'm fine, it doesn't hurt at all, please don't make things difficult for big brother because of me, my conscience will be uneasy. Silly child. Du Sihui was moved again. Xia Sisi also had a face full of indignation, only Xia Zhijiang and Ji Mingxian had strange faces, and their eyes were as disgusting as if they had eaten a fly. Crying for the funeral of Nima. Wei Hong picked up a teacup and threw it over, immediately stopping the acting of several people. How dare you? Du Sihui turned around and scolded like a child, you must transfer to number 13 middle school today, and complete the formalities immediately. Ha! Wei Hong stroked the ring on his left hand and joked, I will neither transfer nor pay any price today. I will also ask Wei Xing to apologize and reflect in public in the school broadcasting room. Do you believe it? What are you crazy about? Du Sihui laughed in anger, and everyone else looked unconvinced. He was the one who hit people, and the guardian was not on his side. What big waves can Wei Hong make? He should just go to number 13 middle school obediently. Principal Lu, why did you hear the request? Wei Hong looked over with burning eyes and said casually, do it. Me? Principal Lu was confused, what the hell, who are you? Why are you ordering me around? Student Wei Hong, the school has its own rules. Principal Lu said in an official tone with dissatisfaction, it's good enough that people don't care about your beating, how can you make excessive demands? You will agree. Wei Hong was full of confidence, raised his hand and dipped it in the teacup. Then he slowly wrote down 6 numbers on the tea table, 200 300 245. You. Principal Lu's face changed drastically with fear, his legs were so weak that he could hardly stand, even the dumbest people could see that something was wrong, the string of numbers written by Wei Hong must have some special meaning, and it must be a threat to Principal Lu, otherwise he would not have reacted so strongly, and cold sweat had already wet his temples. Can it be done? Wei Hong asked. Yes, yes, yes. Principal Lu wiped the cold sweat and nodded desperately. His panic-stricken face finally turned into determination. He turned to Du Sihui and said, Mrs. Wei, students cannot transfer schools without their consent. In addition, Wei Xing deliberately provoked his classmates and caused trouble at school, which has seriously violated school rules and regulations. He must be punished. What? Du Sihui was completely furious, others also looked incredulous, no one could have imagined that Wei Hong, who was like a lamb to be slaughtered just now, could turn the tide after writing a few numbers, and let Principal Lu stand firmly on his side at the risk of offending the Wei group. Isn't this all too dramatic? Wei Xing was full of disbelief. Impossible, how is this possible? Xia Sisi and Ji Peng were even more angry and aggrieved, only Ji Mingxian and Xia Zhijiang were smart, and their eyes subconsciously sank. The look he gave Wei Hong was no longer like looking at a junior, but like looking at a difficult opponent. Principal Lu, are you crazy? Du Sihui angrily threw the bag in her hand to the ground and shouted, you should know the consequences of offending our Wei group, right? I want you to take back your nonsense just now immediately, otherwise we will never finish. Chapter 16. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That afternoon, Xingrui International High School quickly issued a warning and a demerit punishment. Wei Xing was punished for provoking and causing trouble, and read a 3,000-word self-criticism in public in the broadcasting room. So far, this campus farce has come to an end. But it has set off a storm inside and outside the school. Not only were the teachers and students of the whole school stunned, but even many rich second generations and powerful second generations in Jiangzhou City spread the news in their respective circles, and even had a tendency to spread to the internet, although the Wei group urgently suppressed the heat. But this face was still firmly trampled into the quagmire. Everyone in the Wei family was so angry when they heard about this, and Wei Xing himself was also embarrassed. Because he couldn't stand the pointing and pointing of his classmates, he simply asked for leave to go home and rest. Ji Peng and Xia Sisi were also severely reprimanded by their elders at home. They didn't dare to provoke Wei Hong again, so they simply asked for leave to go home. Many rich second generations who were close to Wei Xing were scared and skipped classes. In a blink of an eye, a large area of the classroom of Class 2, Grade 3 was empty. Wei Hong didn't care about these things. He still sat quietly on the desk and studied various books. He didn't listen to the teacher's lectures, but just flipped through the books and studied. A pair of gold-rimmed glasses hung on his nose. He looked more noble and elegant, like a gentleman. His serious and focused appearance made the girls in the class distracted. From time to time, girls from other classes came to watch during breaks. His popularity was much better than when he was notorious in his previous life. "Student Wei, this is my heart, please accept it." Several little girls blushed and bravely handed over pink love letters. "Thank you." Wei Hong did not reject people at a distance, but just smiled politely and accepted it. "Wow, I got it, whoa. Student Wei, this is mine. Please accept it, please." The girls were immediately excited. The video of Wei Hong beating someone today, looking handsome and crazy, and the photo of him reading a book, looking noble and elegant, it has already spread all over the school forum, and he has been worshipped as a male god by countless fans, a man with such a noble, mysterious, majestic and domineering status. It completely satisfies all the fantasies of these little girls. One love letter after another naturally filled the desks very quickly. Hey, what are so many people doing here?" A tall and thin middle-aged male teacher pushed the door in and interrupted the farce directly. The little girls dispersed and the classroom returned to normal order. "Wei Hong, you are too popular. You can make a lot of money by selling so many love letters as scraps." The middle-aged male teacher smiled and joked. "Teacher Liang." Wei Hong nodded politely. "This person is called Liang Feipeng, the gold medal teacher of the school's competition class." In his previous life, when Wei Hong was notorious, this was the only teacher who believed in him. Therefore, even though the other party was just a small teacher, he gave him enough face. "Sit down." Liang Feipeng waved his hand, glanced at the curious eyes of the whole class, and then got straight to the point. "I came here to ask you, are you interested in joining the competition class? Now most of the courses in the review period of senior high school have ended, and every day is just to check for deficiencies and make up for the gaps. I have seen your grades, and you are fully capable of sprinting for Tsinghua and Peking University. Although the competition class will take up some review time, it can win more honors, and it can also add points in the college entrance examination, or even be recommended for admission. Please consider it. In addition, you can also go back to the key class to listen to lectures during normal classes, which will not take up too much of your time." Liang Feipeng racked his brains to persuade. Wei Hong had already stood up to pack his books, picked up his school bag and said, "Let's go. Do you agree?" "Of course. I haven't asked your class teacher for someone yet. She doesn't dare to stop me." Liang Feipeng was stunned for a moment and couldn't help laughing. He quickly took him to the competition class happily. In fact, it was good to go to the competition class. Wei Hong had already mastered all the high school knowledge. The college entrance examination was a piece of cake for him. Every day in class, he just read more finance, the internet, and e-books. There were few people in the competition class, which was suitable for him to read books. Secondly, he could also get in touch with many top talents, so why not? After a while, the two arrived at a classroom on the left side of the third floor. There were only more than a dozen men and women here who were concentrating on doing questions. Seeing Liang Feipeng bringing Wei Hong in, they didn't have much emotion. They just glanced at him and continued to concentrate on calculating, without being disturbed by the outside world. These people are real university bullies. There was such a big turmoil in the school, but they just ignored it. Even a school idol like Wei Hong would not be popular here. Compared to the noisy situation in Class 2 of Senior Grade 3, this place is really suitable for reading. I am a top tutor hired by the school with a high salary. I am good at mathematics and physics. Some accomplishments. Liang Feipeng asked. There are 12 students in the competition class now, 7 majoring in mathematics and 5 majoring in physics. Which direction do you want to focus on? Whatever. Wei Hong found a seat and sat down without caring. Liang Feipeng thought that he had not made a choice yet, so he simply found a set of mathematics and physics books, handed them to him and said, "These are the questions from the last joint competition of major universities. They are quite difficult. You can do them first. If you really don't know, you can leave them blank. Wait for me for 20 minutes. Wei Hong glanced at the test paper, took out his pen and started to do the questions. 20 minutes. Liang Feipeng was confused. Other students in the competition class also became interested. They all looked over, and when they saw Wei Hong writing as if he had divine help, filling in the blanks without thinking at all, they all froze in their places. My goodness, who is this guy? So arrogant. I can't even finish grading and checking the papers in 20 minutes, where did Lao Liang get this great man from? What a great man, no one in the world can finish 2 papers in 20 minutes. Everyone whispered to each other. Liang Feipeng stood aside and watched for a while, and found that Wei Hong was really doing the questions, and every question was correct. He could even know the answer with just a glance. Stop, stop, stop. Liang Feipeng hurriedly stopped. You have done this test paper before, right? Hey, no wonder, these papers have been torn apart after the exam. It's normal that you have done it. I'll find you 2 new ones. After saying that, he hurried to the office. Others saw this and looked down on him. You did these papers and didn't say anything. You really think he is a god? Huh, if I had done these papers, I could also fill in the blanks without thinking. Waste of time. The college bullies shook their heads and said no more, turning around to continue to do the questions seriously. Subconsciously, they had regarded Wei Hong as a sensationalist. Liang Feipeng came back quickly, holding 2 new papers in his hand, and said excitedly, "Come on, do this one. This is a variant question type I just sorted out. You must have never done it before." Wei Hong took it and glanced at it, frowned and said, "This one is easier. It will only take 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Liang Feipeng was furious, feeling that his intelligence had been insulted. Chapter 17. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Competition test paper. Compared to ordinary test papers, the difficulty is several levels higher. Many knowledge points are obscure and difficult to understand, and the question types are also strange. It is difficult to grasp without long-term guidance and training. Even a real university master will have a headache, but for Wei Hong, it is as easy as elementary school addition and subtraction. He has an IQ of 180 and a photographic memory. In his previous life, he had come across too many competition questions. He knew the answer with just a glance, and sometimes he was too lazy to write down the steps to solve the problem. Shwa shwa shwa. Wei Hong still wrote as if he was assisted by God. With a glance, the tip of the pen had already written the answer. This speed of answering questions shocked everyone. A male student with glasses couldn't help but ask, "Lao Liang, you haven't done this question before, have you?" "Bullshit." Liang Feipeng said unhappily, "I just sorted it out yesterday, and no one else has seen it except me." "Oh my God, did he write it randomly?" No, look, the answer is correct." "Fuck, great God." Everyone quickly gathered around. They glanced at the questions and couldn't wait to find paper and pen to start calculating. After a while, everyone got excited because the answer written by Wei Hong was correct, and many questions even took them a long time to think about, but he wrote down the answer casually. There is only one fact: this person is absolutely a great god. Even Liang Feipeng, a gold medal tutor in the competition class, definitely doesn't have such awesome calculation ability. "Wei Hong, what's your IQ?" Liang Feipeng couldn't help asking. "I took a test when I was 12 years old, and it seemed to be 180. Wei Hong said without raising his head, "I don't know if it's accurate." 180. Taller than Einstein. Brother, I finally saw what a genius is. Lao Liang, where did you dig this genius from? Everyone exclaimed again. The eyes looking at Wei Hong were also a little more fanatical. These people don't like to dress up, don't pursue luxury goods, and have no interest in love, but they only worship the real top gods. This is the common understanding of the academic world. At this moment, Wei Hong has won their respect. 15 minutes passed in a flash. and when 2 test papers filled with answers were placed in front of him, Liang Feipeng couldn't wait to correct them on the spot, and finally spent another half an hour to correct the test papers. Full marks. Fuck. Liang Feipeng couldn't help but widen his eyes and swore, "How did you do it?" The last big question is the latest competition question. I can only think of 2 solutions, and you wrote 5, in 2 test papers. Wei Hong just glanced over most of the questions, only spent some time on the last big question. The talent that was casually displayed made people's scalps numb. These questions are not difficult for me. Wei Hong threw down his pen and said casually, "From today on, I will take classes in the competition class, but except for large-scale competitions, I am too lazy to participate in other small competitions. Teacher Liang, you don't have to arrange my courses specifically. I can just read books if I want to learn." Okay. Liang Feipeng nodded and agreed. In fact, he found that there were not many places he could give advice. If Wei Hong wanted to go to college, he would have to fight hard for the junior class of Tsinghua University and Peking University. This kind of high IQ genius has his own development plan, and as a teacher, he is not convenient to interfere. But Liang Feipeng said, "If you are free in class, you have to help me with these useless things." Wei Hong smiled dumbly and glanced at them. Facing the hopeful, eager, excited and admiring eyes of the academic masters. Finally, his eyes fell on a boy with black-framed glasses, a simple and honest face and a mushroom head, and stayed for a few seconds before looking away. Okay. Wei Hong smiled meaningfully and said, "I will come to school once a day. The time for going to and from school is uncertain, and I will be late and leave early occasionally. If each of you has any questions, please save them in the wrong question book first. I will take out half an hour every day, and everyone can ask questions." Really? That's great. Wow, thank you. Now Lao Liang can retire. That the academic masters cheered excitedly. Liang Feipeng chuckled and couldn't help but secretly feel lucky. Originally, he just saw that Wei Hong had good grades, so he wanted to recruit him to the competition class to try. Who knew that he was actually a master who pretended to be a pig and ate the tiger? Now with his guidance, the competition class will definitely achieve good results this year, under Wei Hong's diligent guidance. In just one afternoon, he became friends with the top students in the competition class. At 5:30 in the afternoon, the school bell rang. Wei Hong I packed my things and headed for the campus parking lot. As soon as I arrived, I saw 2 more Hummers next to the 3 Bentley Mulsans. They were tall and rugged, full of hormones. "Master." Several bodyguards bowed and greeted him. Wei Hong frowned and said, "Why are there more people?" A quick glance revealed that there were as many as 12 bodyguards. He had brought a group of bodyguards this morning, but now there was an extra group. "Uncle Gong is worried about your safety," the bodyguard captain explained in a low voice, "so he specially transferred another group of people here. He told me that from now on, you must have 2 groups of people following you at any time when you travel." After saying that, he clapped his hands casually. 2 young female bodyguards came out immediately. "From now on, the 2 of them will protect you closely," the captain of the bodyguard said. "Even if you are in class, they will sit by your side." "Okay." Wei Hong nodded indifferently, "But you 2 had better change into casual clothes. Don't be too conspicuous. I don't like to be disturbed when I am in class." "Understood." The 2 female bodyguards agreed respectfully. Wei Hong was quite satisfied. Uncle Gong must have known about his confrontation with Xie Zhijiang and Ji Mingxian today. He was afraid that he would offend someone and be retaliated, so he transferred another group of people. But it is right to be cautious. Ji Mingxian may not do anything rash. Xie Zhijiang may not be the same. He started as a contractor when he was young, and he also got involved in game cities, entertainment halls, KTVs, sand fields, mines, and other industries. Don't look at how Wei Hong scolded him like a dog today. If he really wants to be ruthless, he will definitely dare to kill him. 6 bodyguards are indeed not enough to protect Wei Hong's safety. Although the 2 groups of 12 people were a bit grand, the safety was greatly increased. "It's a pity that we can't carry guns in China," Wei Hong muttered, and handed his school bag to a female bodyguard. "Let's go home." "Yes," the bodyguard captain waved and ordered others, but at this moment, a panting girl ran from a distance. The girl was wearing a white dress and flat shoes, with a high ponytail swinging as she ran. Her facial features were bright and beautiful, and her eyes were misty and pure. She was completely an image of a tough and unyielding little white flower. As soon as she was stopped by the bodyguard, she immediately shouted angrily, "Senior Wei Hong, stop right there." Chapter 18. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "What do you want to talk to me about?" Wei Hong narrowed his eyes slightly. There was a little more coldness in his eyes when he looked at the girl. Her name is Xiamo, a junior girl in class 6 of grade 2. Grandpa Wei has been in charge of Wei Group for decades and has been committed to public welfare for a long time. He often helps various lonely elderly people and orphans and poor students go to school. Xiamo is one of the poor students. Her father is a gambler, her mother is seriously ill, and she has a brother who is not stingy. The family favors boys over girls and beats and scolds her since she was a child, but she was not defeated by this difficulty. On the contrary, she has always insisted on studying hard and staying optimistic and kind. When Wei Hong came into contact with Charity a few years ago, he was attracted by her optimism, so he simply listed her as a one-to-one assistance target, and the relationship between the two naturally made rapid progress. A few months ago, Xiamo still called him senior. She went to class 2 of grade 3 to deliver breakfast every few days, and she was very dependent on him and close to him on weekdays. But when Wei Sheng was adopted by the Wei family and transferred to Xingrui High School, the situation changed dramatically. He and Xiamo actually grew up in the same village in the city. In addition, Wei Sheng would slander and sow discord from time to time. Xiamo immediately misunderstood that Wei Hong had other purposes for his efforts for her. After several conflicts, she completely sided with Wei Sheng, and every time she righteously sought justice for the other party, she thought she was a messenger of justice, which was really annoying, as expected. This time she also came to preach. "Senior, bullying classmates is wrong." Xiamo accused with a righteous face, "Although your family is rich, you can't do whatever you want, right? Brother Shaoxing is already very pitiful to be an orphan, and you still beat and humiliate him. Is this what a human being does? You beat him and used force to force him to apologize in the school broadcasting room. How can you bully people like this? Is there still justice and law in the world? I always thought you were a kind and good person, but now I find that you are just like other rich people, a bastard who is rich and unkind. Now, immediately, come with me to apologize." Wei Hong couldn't help but sneer. Power? Why didn't anyone mention power when Ji Ping provoked again and again? Why didn't Wei, Ji, and Xie mention power when they put pressure on him? Now he is just fighting back, and someone jumped out to speak up for the real perpetrator. Are you too full? Wei Hong said impatiently, "If you are full and want to come here to find a sense of existence, I advise you to save your energy. Senior, how can you be so righteous? Don't you have any sense of shame?" Xiamo still put her hands on her hips angrily. She had imagined that she would be angry and accuse him, the other party would be ashamed to correct his mistakes and apologize to brother Wei Sheng, but the facts did not develop as she expected. You should be ashamed. Wei Hong turned and got into the car. He frowned impatiently when the window slowly lowered. You don't know the whole story, but you dare to make a random judgment based on hearsay. You think you are a messenger of justice and want to uphold the truth. Don't you feel embarrassed? Xiaomo's pretty face flushed red. It seemed that she couldn't believe that Wei Hong, who had been gentle and partial to her, would be so disrespectful. I don't care. Xiaomo stood in front of the car, opened her arms and said stubbornly, Anyway, you come with me to apologize to brother Shaoxing and promise not to bully him again, otherwise this matter will never end, and I will never forgive you. Another idiot. Wei Hong held his forehead helplessly. Who cares whether she forgives or not? Why are these people so self-righteous? Master. The bodyguard captain asked, do you want to take her away? No. Wei Hong sneered, drive, run over. Yes, the bodyguard agreed, immediately put the car in neutral and stepped on the accelerator. A sharp bang scared Xia Mo so much that she retreated repeatedly. The next moment the car started straight and ran over, and then stopped suddenly. Xia Mo tripped with her left foot and fell to the ground with her right foot, and she was so angry that she almost cried. Her pitiful face was filled with anger and unwillingness. After struggling to get up, she shouted to Wei Hong in the car, "This is too much. I want to cut off all ties with scum like you." "Stop!" Wei Hong narrowed his eyes and shouted casually. The car stopped immediately, and he got out of the car again. He walked step by step to Xia Mo and squatted down, then sneered and said, "Cut off all ties. How do I cut off? I just want to cut off." Xia Mo's face flushed, and she said stubbornly, "Unless you are willing to turn over a new leaf, I don't want to have any connection with scum like you anymore. It's disgusting to be involved with you." Okay, well said." Wei Hong smiled instead of getting angry, nodded and said, "You have been receiving financial support from our Wei family since junior high school, 2,000 yuan per month for 3 years. After entering high school, I personally helped you one-on-one, 5,000 yuan per month for 2 years. Your mother's medical expenses and multiple rescue costs cost at least more than 500,000 yuan. In addition, the secondary card I once gave you, you often use it for daily expenses and to support your gambling father and Yaozu brother. I turned a blind eye to all these. What you wear, eat, drink, and use, which one is not paid by our Wei family? You want to stop, right? Okay, pay it back." He almost shouted the last sentence. Xia Mo was frightened and shrank back a few steps. Her pretty face turned pale. However, Wei Hong did not want to let her go, and continued to press step by step. "I want to pull you out of the quagmire with good intentions, but what about you? You are ungrateful and hypocritical. You use my Wei family's money to support a family of vampires, and you keep saying benevolence and morality in front of me. You want to establish a saintly little white flower persona, right? I didn't." Xia Mo was so anxious that tears streamed down her face. "No." Wei Hong sneered, "Even if I raise a bunch of cats and dogs with more than 1 million, they will know to wag their tails and beg for mercy, and they won't bite me back. You are quite protective of Wei Sheng. Why doesn't he give you money to spend? Are you reluctant to spend it?" Xia Mo's eyes widened in shock. She never thought that she would be insulted like this. Is this still the brother who took care of her everywhere and warmed her entire youth? Brother Shaoxing and I have a pure brother-sister relationship. Xia Mo cried with grievance on her face and accused, "I just don't want you and brother Shaoxing to break up. How can you misunderstand me like this? You keep talking about money. Are you obsessed with money now? Why are people so mercenary? Yes, you are the most noble and pure." Wei Hong sneered, straightened his clothes, and walked back to the Bentley, and said coldly, "I will notify people to stop the secondary card, and the monthly scholarship will also be discontinued. The bills for your family's expenses will be sent to your door as soon as possible. Please return all the expenses as soon as possible. Since you keep saying that you regard money as dirt, and you want to break up with me, then break up cleanly, so as not to say that my Wei family is rich and unkind and oppresses the poor." After saying that, he got up and got in the car and left. Only Xia Mo was left with a dazed face, standing there stupidly for a long time without being able to come back to his senses. Chapter 19. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the school gate, Xia Mo was a little lost and absent-minded. She followed the crowd with her school bag on her back, mechanically walking out of the school step by step. Her eyes were no longer as innocent, naive and cute as before, but full of worries. Obviously, Wei Hong's words just now had a great impact on her. But before she could feel sad for long, a dozen chattering little girls came up and surrounded her directly. "Momo, where did you go just now? Did you finish your business? Did you go to meet Senior Wei Hong secretly? Wow, I envy you so much. You are so close to Senior Wei Hong. He is the male god in our hearts." The girls talked about it one by one. Xia Mo murmured with an unhappy face, what male god? He is just a bad guy who bullies others by taking advantage of his power. Momo, what are you talking about? The person next to her asked curiously. Nothing. Xiaomo shook her head and said, I have something to do today and I have to go home first. You guys can go too. No, didn't we agree to go shopping together for milk tea? Yes, we also agreed to feed stray cats. They are so pitiful. You can't let them go hungry, right? Momo, good Momo, just come and play with us. How can you bear to let the cats go without dinner when you are so kind? That the girls expressed their dissatisfaction. Xiaomo smiled awkwardly and didn't dare to refuse casually. Since she received Wei Hong's one-to-one funding, she not only has 5,000 living expenses every month, but also has an exclusive secondary card in her hand that can be used at will. Her food, clothing, housing and transportation are no different from those of a real white, rich and beautiful woman, in order to show her simple and innocent personality who regards money as dirt. She feeds stray cats today and donates money and goods to lonely elderly people tomorrow. She helps poor students in the class every now and then. Her reputation for kindness has spread throughout the school. Naturally, she has attracted many fans with different ideas. They follow her every day to eat and drink, and she will not be soft-hearted when it comes to killing fat sheep. Xia Mo was flattered by their flattery. In her heart, she had already forgotten what Wei Hong said just now. She nodded innocently and said, okay, let's go drink milk tea first, then buy cat food to feed stray cats, and then I will treat you to a big meal. Okay, that's great, Momo. Yes, we love you so much. Momo is so generous. I heard that you have the secondary card of Senior Wei Hong, right? Is he pursuing you? That the girls continued to envy and flatter. Xia Mo was proud in her heart, but pretended to be coquettish and said, who wants his pursuit? These young men from rich families are all self-righteous. I will never like him even if I die. Wow! Momo, you are so noble. You disdain all the male gods liked by girls in the school. Isn't it amazing? Woo woo woo, why don't I have such a good life as Momo? Oh my god, Senior Wei Hong is not licking you, right? That the girls continued to chirp and compliment. Xia Mo neither explained nor refuted, but occasionally said a few ambiguous words. Unconsciously, the image of Wei Hong as a licker and herself as his only pure and flawless white moonlight was created in everyone's mind. For a time, Xia Mo's image continued to rise. Being able to be regarded as the white moonlight by the male god admired by all the girls in the school. She seemed to be coated with a layer of golden light, and the girls looked at her with envy and admiration. Everyone laughed and chatted along the way, and soon walked into a milk tea shop. Oh my god, the milk tea here is so expensive, the cheapest one is more than 20 yuan a cup, why don't we go to another one? A girl deliberately suggested, there is Mishue Ice City next door. No need. Xia Mo waved her hand and said indifferently, if you want to drink, drink something good. Everyone, order what you want to drink. I will treat you. Don't be embarrassed, I have never felt anything for money. Yeah. That's great. I love you so much, Momo. That the girls cheered together and began to order at the same time. They were not soft-hearted when it came to ripping people off, and they only ordered expensive ones. 1 cup per person was not enough, and they also ordered a few more cups on the pretext of helping others. After a while, everyone finished ordering. The clerk looked at Xia Mo politely and smiled, a total of 43 cups for 1,672 yuan. Madam, please show me the QR code and I'll scan it. Swipe the card. Xia Mo casually handed over a black card. The clerk's eyes lit up when he saw this, and he quickly took it with both hands respectfully, and then operated it on the POS machine, but after a moment, he frowned and said, Madam, your card has been frozen. Do you want to change a card? Or WeChat payment is also okay. Frozen. Xia Mo was suddenly struck by lightning. She hurriedly grabbed the black card and checked it, but she couldn't see it. There was no abnormality. Unwilling to give up, she asked the clerk to try several times, but the POS machine still showed an abnormal card. Now she finally remembered what Wei Hong had said just now. he really ordered someone to freeze the attached black card. How could it be? How could he do this? Xiaomo panicked. Since the black card was a credit card under Wei Hong's name, she only had the right to use it, and could only swipe it on the POS machine every time, and she couldn't even transfer money to WeChat. Now that the black card was frozen, where could she find more than 1,000 to pay the bill? Momo, what's going on? Why can't the card be swiped? Yes, what happened? The girls also realized that something was wrong. They subconsciously spread out a little, exposing Xiaomo to the curious, teasing, and surprised eyes of the surrounding customers, leaving her in a state of panic and embarrassment. I don't have so much change in my WeChat account. Xiaomo blushed and stammered, can these milk teas be returned? Sorry, ma'am, we had so many orders just now that we made them as they came in. The clerk politely refused. Many milk teas are already ready, so they can't be returned. Lin, Shuang, how about you lend me some money? There's something wrong with my card. Xiaomo looked at the other girls pitifully. I don't have any money, I've spent all my living expenses. I don't have any either, don't look at me. The girls shook their heads and refused. Xiaomo was so anxious that she was at a loss. She was embarrassed and didn't know who to ask for help. At this moment, the phone rang, and she subconsciously clicked to answer it. You damn girl, where have you been? Why don't you go home and cook? Do you want to starve me and your brother to death? Also, why did your mother's medical expenses stop? Why don't you pay it quickly? Do you want to watch her die? Fuck, you're a money loser. I'd rather raise a piece of barbecued pork than you. I got a series of harsh and sharp curses. It sounded continuously like a machine gun. Even if Xiaomo didn't turn on the speaker, everyone could still hear it clearly. For a moment, everyone's eyes changed again and again when they looked at her. Oh my God, what's going on? Isn't she a rich and beautiful woman? Isn't she the white moonlight of young Master Wei? How can she not even pay a bill of more than 1,000? And her mother seems to be seriously ill in bed. Everyone's suspicious and surprised eyes instantly made Xiaomo feel ashamed and angry. Chapter 20. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the evening, Wei Hong returned to the Wei family mansion surrounded by bodyguards. In the living room, Wei Jiaoyang, Du Sihui, and Wei Xing were sitting at the dining table. The sisters were not there, only the servants were busy. Auntie Wang, the young master is back. Du Sihui immediately forced a smile and said, bring the dishes up quickly. Okay, madam. Auntie Wang bowed and agreed. Immediately, she brought a bunch of delicious dishes to the table. Wei Hong said nothing, sat down and started eating. The calmness on the faces of the three people opposite finally couldn't be maintained. Where is your tutor? Wei Jiaoyang knocked on the table and habitually scolded. You don't even know how to call people when you get home. You are dumb, right? Are you a human? Wei Hong asked curiously. Wei Jiaoyang was so angry that he almost fainted again. People and animals know that they are better for their children. Wei Hong chewed the beef and said casually, what about you? You are more disgusting than the beasts. He puts his son and does not hurt his child. Come. Wei Xing said in 2 words, if my elder brother doesn't like me staying at home, I can leave. You must not be so disrespectful to your parents. Brother, won't it be addicted to me? What if you do it at home? I won't be pushed downstairs in the middle of the night. Wei Jiaoyang and Du Sihui naturally thought of the school incident. However, they did not, as expected, get angry and seek justice for Wei Xing. Instead, they looked at each other, gradually restrained the anger in their eyes, and forced themselves to pretend to be kind. Xiaohong, you are really something. Don't make trouble for your father every day. What can't we talk about as a family? Du Sihui licked her face and said, come on. Drink more soup. This is the fire-clearing soup I asked Wang Ma to make. After that, she took the initiative to scoop a bowl of soup and handed it over. Wei Hong glanced at it and was too lazy to take it. If someone is too attentive to others for no reason, he is either a traitor or a thief. He has seen what kind of ghost this couple is. He will never have any fluke mentality towards them in this life. If you have to fart, just fart. Don't disgust me. Wei Hong said with disgust. Ahem. Wei Jiaoyang coughed tactically and asked casually, did your grandfather leave you something? Wei Hong curled his lips and laughed sarcastically, don't you know what grandpa left behind? When he died, you wanted to get rid of every hair, right? Even the eldest and second aunts who were far away in Yanjing and the province couldn't get a penny. Don't talk about other things, I'm not talking about shares and real estate. Wei Jiaoyang slammed the table and emphasized, did the dead old man leave you an intelligence network, connections, handles on various families, etc.? Obviously, he already knew everything that happened in the school office today. At the same time, it was easy to judge that Wei Hong knew a lot of information that outsiders didn't know, otherwise it would be impossible to force Xie Zhijiang and Ji Mingxian to retreat with just a few words, and it would be even more impossible to force Principal Lu to submit, although Wei Jiaoyang is now in charge of the Wei group. But everyone knows that this is just because Wei Hong is not yet an adult. Once he comes of age and inherits the 30% shares left by the old man, coupled with the momentum of the elders such as Uncle Gong in the board of directors, it will be too easy for him to inherit the group at that time. That's why Wei Jiaoyang has always disliked him for these years. If he could be coaxed to hand over all the intelligence network and black materials of various companies. With such a large amount of intangible wealth in his hands, Wei Jiaoyang will definitely be able to make greater achievements, shut up the mouths of the shareholders on the board of directors, and completely gain a foothold in the group. Thinking of this, Wei Jiaoyang's eyes showed a trace of urgency, and urged, you are still a minor. How can a child understand the danger of these things? I don't know how many people are secretly trying to kill you now. Hand over everything. Yes. Du Sihui also advised, how can we, as parents, watch you get into trouble? Hand over your intelligence network, explain all the information you know, and study hard in the future. Wei Hong couldn't help but sneer. Sure enough, the couple is still as shameless as ever. In fact, where does the old man leave any intelligence network? The black material is even more fictitious, it's just that he knew too many secrets in his previous life. What are you laughing at? Wei Jiaoyang scolded dissatisfiedly, hurry up, our group's most recently, there is a big project being promoted with Jinjiang Group. Mr. Xie refuses to give in even for a moment. If you bring out his dirty laundry, I will make him bleed hard. You are really dreaming. Wei Hong picked up a piece of beef with chopsticks and sneered jokingly, if I were to do it, I would give Mr. Xie your dirty laundry. How could I possibly help you deal with him? Are you crazy? Wei Jiaoyang slammed the table in anger, frightening the servants around him. Brother, how can you help outsiders deal with our parents? Wei Xing said dissatisfiedly, Wei Group is the hard work of our family. You can't be so excessive. Outsider? You are the outsider, okay. Wei Hong slammed the chopsticks on the table and cursed, let me remind you that Wei Group is the hard work of my grandfather's life, not the hard work of your driver father. Don't think that you can take over the magpie's nest by changing your surname. If you want to get something for nothing, go back and inherit your father's pots and pans. The three people on the opposite side were so angry that their faces turned red again. The meal ended unhappily. Just when Wei Hong was full and ready to go upstairs, Du Sihui immediately covered her head with pain on her face and slowly fell to the side. Seeing this, Wei Jiaoyang and Wei Xing hurried forward to support her, and the servants were also in a mess. Madam, how are you? Mom, are you okay? Is your headache coming back? Quick, where is the family doctor? Call the doctor over. Everyone was in a hurry. Wei Hong, however, stopped going upstairs with interest, walked to the bar counter and poured himself a glass of red wine, then sat on the sofa beside him, crossed his legs and watched the show. Of course, he was not concerned about Du Sihui's health, he just wanted to watch the show. She had high blood pressure, headaches, insomnia and other symptoms before. In order to take care of her health, Wei Hong read all kinds of medical books one by one, and mastered the skills of Chinese medicine without a teacher, with his careful care, massage and acupuncture. Du Sihui was full of energy every day, and her insomnia and headache symptoms no longer recurred. Unfortunately, the good days had passed for too long and she had long forgotten Wei Hong's efforts. These days, she was so angry that her old illness recurred, and she deserved to suffer again.